So let's drop this here. There's a bed with like what color bed sheets are we gonna put on here? It's kind of deep purple bed sheets. A bed. The bed is pretty cool. It's got some sweet sheets. Totally want those sheets. Yeah, you know it. So the action that we can perform here is use, and I'll make sure it has a use icon. Now the type is completely disconnected from the puzzle structure. The puzzle structure does not care what type an object is. It's only about what feedback you provide to the user, what icons are used when you're looking at it, and what sounds are played when you actually use it. So we're going to just add another state in here, which doesn't have a type. That's good. Bed. The bed is free of sheets. Brilliant. Well, actually, no. You have freed the bed from its sheets. More better. Alright, sweet. So now the window here is going to get another state. Its first state is fine. And its second state is going to be use, and it's going to be like a window. Window looks out over the treasure in the hedge maze. You think you could make a knotted sheet rope to climb down. Okay, so you'll only see that description if you have the sheets. And then we'll give it a third state. Just 3 is fine. Currently you can't delete states, so if you had too many, cool. And it's going to lead down to like hedge maze 2, because we don't want to go into the third one. Oh, and this raises an interesting thing as well, which we'll come back to and deal with a little bit. A window. The window overlooks the treasure in the hedge maze. Your sheet rope leads down into the maze or something. You know, that's cool. If you were a better person than me, you would bother to spend time writing that. So back here in the hedge maze, where we've got this we've got this exit that leads. This is the gate, right? This is the other gate. It's the same gate, but you know, we're going to call it other gate. It's going to have 2 states now as well, and the first one is going to be no exit. And so this is a gate. Gate is currently locked. Doink. And this is going to be cool, is I get to show a bunch of things with this. So this is now an exit. In the second state, it leads to the courtyard. A gate. The gate leads to the courtyard. It is now unlocked. Sweet. Yeah, sweet. Okay, that's fine. Not amazing, but fine. So back here in the puzzle editor, when we unlock the gate, we now want to set the other gate, or other gate, to its second state, which is state 1. And that way, so when you unlock the gate with the key, it unlocks both sides. So you know, depending upon which way you come from, you're not going to have problems there. So here we want to add another task, which is to use the window. And now I remember that I probably didn't call that window. No, new object, of course. Window. Oh yeah, and we can now see that because we added that exit in, and it's going to be one way. So should it be one way? I think it should be one way. So you're stuck in the maze if you don't have a key. I don't know. We would think about that later if we were doing a proper game. Promise. So we use the window, and then it updates the window to its third state. Window colon 2. So if you've already got a state for the window defined in there, and you type it in with a different number, it'll change it. But if you type it in with the same number, it'll remove it. So that's like a good way of knowing that you can adjust these things. So when we pick up the sheets, we're going to update the bed state to 1. And did we not put a bed in? No? Are you a bed? No, you're a new object too. Bed. There we go. Alright. Save that. So bed, that's what we went in there to do, right? And then it's going to change window to 1 as well. That changes window to 2. This removes the sheets. What did I call them? Cool sheets. Okay. So it removes cool sheets. And you've got to use the same text for it to haha. Yeah, that's another thing you could do. You could go like, it removes the sheets when you use the window, but then after you've used the window to get out, they fall back on top of you and you get them back. That's totally doable. That is the thing you could do. So you tie your sheets in a no. You like hang your sheets out the window. Your sheets can now be climbed. Should be like clumb, shouldn't it? Climbed down. Huzzah! Sweet. Alright. 1 second. There we go. Alright. So the get ye treasure. Obviously, at the moment this type is set to and so this puzzle currently requires both of these to be completed before it can be progressed, and that's really not what we want, right? Like, we want an or type relationship, which is what I think being mentioned in chat a little while ago. So we can change the type here. I put a pipe character in, and then suddenly the blue lines, they represent the or relationship. We could also make it so it's not, and that means that if you've done either of these two puzzles, then you can't do this one. So those are the three options you have. You can't mix up and or not requirements at the moment, which is kind of sad, but I'm going to add some kind of parser or scripting ability that allows you to put more complex logical structures in. But yeah, so another thing that puzzles can do, which are kind of helpful, is that if you've got a puzzle, obviously this puzzle isn't going to be a good fit, but if you've got a puzzle that you want to, if you've got a puzzle that you want to reset a different puzzle, so let's say that you've got like a pressure plate on the other side of the gate that locks the gate behind you as you enter the maze, right? You could make the pressure plate reset the unlock maze puzzle so that you had to go and get the key again or whatever. And so puzzles can reset other puzzles like this. If you add the same one twice, it will remove it. A puzzle can also reset itself. So in the case of what's a good example? In Winter's Wake, there's a bard, and you can get an instrument off him. And once you've got the instrument, you can like just jam with him. And that jam puzzle resets itself, so you can do that as many times as you want. So yeah, you can do that kind of stuff. I don't really want this one to reset itself, so I'm going to take that away. And you can also have negates, which means that which is we do with an X. So that would mean that when you start or when you perform the first task in this puzzle, that this puzzle is no longer progressible. Like, you can't do any of the tasks in it. It doesn't stop you from interacting with objects that are, referenced in that puzzle, but it means that that puzzle will not be progressed by interacting with those objects, if that makes any sense at all. I hope it makes sense, because it's kind of a fundamental thing. But yeah, so now we've created a slightly more complex puzzle structure to get your treasure, and we have your treasure. And what I would possibly do after this would be to maybe escape the maze, because would it be possible to set timers? No. Timers definitely not possible at the moment. I'm not sure if it's something that I would want to add to the engine. I mean, because as soon as you put any kind of timing in, and already the cutscenes are a problem, but as soon as you put any timing-based stuff in, you have to start making assumptions about how quickly people can read. And it's yeah, I kind of feel like it doesn't support the kind of gameplay that the engine is about exposing, which is primarily about exploring scenes with a first-person camera and having color and audio help you have a good sense of presence and a good sense of immersion. And time pressure kind of pulls you away from that a little bit. I mean, like, as a designer, I can see how that's kind of interesting. Certainly not for any of the games that I'm working on, but down the track it might be functionality that I add to the engine. I'm not sure. Not kind of high priority at this point. But definitely something I would always be wary of, like, because it's inherently a confusing interface. Unless you already know what you're doing, it takes a little bit longer to orient yourself and understand the space and understand the implications of things. And timers, like I say, you end up making assumptions about how quickly people can do things, or how quickly things are possible to do, and that immediately, there is no real reliable benchmark that you can have for that. So, something that could be explored for sure, but is not overtly an obvious good direction to go in, if that makes sense. So we're going to escape the maze. Yeah, there've been lots of games that have done similar sorts of things, like the Hitchhiker's Guide game. It has discrete turns rather than real-time counters, but if you don't, grab your toothbrush and turn on the lights and take your headache tablets and whatever, within a certain number of turns, you'll die when your house gets bulldozed. And ultimately that's fairly unfriendly. That game in particular is criticized quite heavily for being awful and obtuse. But yeah, I mean, it's still definitely viable, just not something that I'm pursuing right now. Yeah. So maybe the object here is a shovel or something. And it gives a shovel. And then maybe there's like a edge of maze. Oh, you know what? It's not a shovel. It's like pruning shears, right? Let's get rid of the shovel. So again, with just about everything that's a list, you can add the same item to the list twice, and it will remove it. And so in this sort of conceptual thing that I'm not actually going to add into the game, but conceptually, maybe we've got like a weak hedge. and you prune the weak hedge. As you snip away at the hedge's foliage, you discover a gap leading out of the maze that you can squeeze through. Hooray! Yeah, so you pick up the shears, choppy, and so the idea is that we've got this kind of conceptual puzzle to escape the maze, which is what you would do after you get the treasure. Maybe you would add some extra structure in the middle so that you can pick up the shears and you can hang on, yeah, no, maybe this is not the right way to go. This is not escape maze, this is like prune hedge. And this one doesn't have that requirement. So you can effectively do it as soon as you enter the maze. So we can make that an OR. And then there's going to be another one, which is like escape. And that one requires you to have pruned the hedge. And in this one, you're going to use the weak hedge again. Weak hedge. You escape into the night. Hooray. Yeah, okay. So yeah, the idea is that you can prune the hedge at any point, even if you haven't got the treasure. So you've found the shears and you found your way out, but you can't actually escape until you have both done the pruning and gotten the treasure. And this is kind of how you would structure your puzzles. This is very simplified. You would want to do a bit of extra stuff. You would, in the unlocked maze, you'd want to change that so that there's a third task that's when you go through the gate that you say that it slams behind you or something. And we would remove the unlocking the other gate, like that would always be locked and your key would be stuck on the other side or something, and make it remove the key. And you might want to have some extra states for the weak hedge, or maybe even extra puzzles in the middle here, so that if you do the hedge before you do the treasure, then you get a description that says, "Oh, I can't leave until I got the cool treasure from the maze," or if and that way you got a reason to stay in, and understand why you can't just leave. But yeah, so that gives an idea of how one might go about constructing and making a little game in my cool engine. So one thing I haven't done is adjusted the descriptions for any of the scenes. And so maybe just starting with the start scene, it might be like, you find yourself at the old mansion. Or no, you approach the old mansion, yeah? So the intro title and the intro message are what's shown to the user when you first enter that scene. You have been brought here by the promise of treasure. It is said that anybody who can find the heart of the deadly maze will find riches beyond their dreams. How cool is that? I'm hooked. And then you'd be like, you stand on a driveway, and then you'd be like, the cobblestone driveway leads up to the mansion's entrance. And so the title and description are what's shown after you've clicked through that intro message when you're not looking at any objects in the scene. And you would like go leads. I would say it leads eastward to the mansion's entrance. And then the nice thing there is that you are giving some cues about where the player should look within the scene for things. I think that's really important to bake into the descriptions. But yeah, that's kind of scene descriptions pretty much. You can have cutscenes and stuff. So hypothetically, somewhere is that README cutscene. I don't even know where that went. Maybe I delete. Oh no, there they are. I just coloured them crazy. And they're cutscenes. So maybe you would add like over here. This would be like the end cutscene, right? I call this outro or whatever. And we can change it to a cutscene. It can last this long, and then it will take you back to the menu when it's done. When you've got a cutscene, the description is the only thing that matters. Like the title and the intro message and whatever else are ignored. And then you would just you put an exit going this way. You don't need an exit coming back out of the cutscene. But yeah, maybe that's going to be like a dark blue because we're still cranking off into the night. How nice. And it would be that this exit here is now our weak hedge that we were referencing in the puzzles. So the idea is that you find your way into the maze however you go, you find your way through the maze, maybe you get the shears from somewhere, we haven't put those in yet, you get the treasure from here, and then you find your way, escape out of the maze, go to the outro, and then that takes you back to the menu to say that you've won. And that is pretty much it. Yeah, I think I already touched on these things. We would probably want to add weak hedge. No, never mind. Exit aliases are when you've got something that you don't want to call an exit, but you need to behave as an exit, and that allows you to have a different sound and a different icon from normal exits. So, gate, maybe we make a type called gate instead of exit, and then we just put gate in there as the thing. The action icons are key value pairs for the action, which would be exit or talk or use or whatever, and then the image that it should display. And then you can adjust colors and what text is shown in the menu, what fonts are used, and all that sort of stuff here in the game editor. Yeah, you save all that stuff, and it's kind of done. We have a cool game. We made a cool game. Great work, everyone. And on that note, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to get some other stuff done. I am going to be in the Icicle Engine IRC channel. I'm going to be in the Icicle Jam Zero Discord channel that I made, and I'm going to be in the Steamlog Mumble channel. For anybody who has any further questions, if there are any other bits and pieces, just let me know. Otherwise, have fun, enjoy making stuff. Hope this has been useful. I'm just going to leave the stream running for a bit to let it finish going out, but I'll be back in a bit. Have fun.